one of the complexities of Trump's position in the Persian Gulf is Israel. Obviously, every time Trump tries to edge closer towards some sort of deal where he doesn't exit the situation looking completely humiliated, Netanyahu will do something. He'll fire a rocket. He'll bomb something. He'll attack in Lebanon or somewhere else. But the other problem is the Republican Party itself. Now, we're given to believe this Trump myth that he dominates the Republican Party in some kind of Stalinist way. And that's to overstate the case, because there are factions of the Republican Party that have always viewed him as useful, but have always been skeptical about him. And there are factions of the Republican Party that have their own agendas. The kind of the more hawkish wing of the Republican Party, the wing that relishes war, and particularly this war that has looked to war with Iran for a generation and seen it as the ultimate goal, now actually believes a number of falsehoods, I think, about American military power. But they believe that just as hawks in Vietnam believed, you have to stay the course and keep going and keep fighting, and to withdraw now would be catastrophic. Catastrophic for American world power and prestige. And particularly, a war against Iran has been so sought after for such a long period of time that and has been an obsession of not just the hawks in the Republican Party, but some elements of the Democrats as well, since 1979. That now that war is in full swing, the withdrawal from it is something that they desperately want to avoid. Obviously, this involves a kind of a degree of fantasy on their part. You have to be pretty fundamentally divorced from the facts on the ground to see this as anything other than a disaster that can only get worse. Trump is thinking of the midterms. In Trump's kind of fantasy version of things, I don't think this plays out with American public opinion at the moment. But if he can salvage the situation and bring petrol prices down, which my understanding mechanically of this situation is that we'll have at least 13 months of high fuel prices, even if everything was to stop today. So I don't think he's going to get that outcome. But he can dress up things as some sort of a victory. How you sell that to the American population, who I feel are under no illusions about the scale of the disaster here, I don't know. But he is nothing if not a salesman. That's what he wants, and the hawks in the Republican Party want to keep going. How they keep going with a depleted missile stock, how they keep going with a loss of bases in the Gulf, how they keep going with a carrier group that has to sort of stay out of range of Iranian missiles is a moot point. I mean, there are no doubt some who would see a ground invasion as the next logical step. And obviously a lot of this is tied up with this kind of deep affiliation. I mean, there's lots of money that comes to them through AIPAC, but I think it's about more than that. This deep affiliation with Israel, this deep desire to see to fight Israel's wars for it, which I'm endlessly baffled by on almost every level. Some of that is to do with evangelical Christianity, but I think some of it is to do with something more kind of civilizational that Israel represents to particularly the hawks in the Republican Party, some kind of bastion of civilization against some great Asiatic horde. There's obviously some kind of coded racism in there as well. But they're not going to budge, and they are crowding Trump into an ever tighter corner. What does he do? Is he able to resist them? Does he try to bring about some kind of coup to remove them in order to save himself? It's very hard to say, but the clock is ticking as far as the midterms go. Perhaps his only hope is to try to cheat in the midterms, which undoubtedly he will do. But we shall see. But anyway, there's that faction there, and I think that's worth kind of following. Obviously, he's fallen. I mean, people like John Bolton fell out with Trump in the first term, and he was the Mr. Kind of Iran hawk, par excellence. And occasionally Bolton will turn up on British TV. The other week he was opining about Keir Starmer on Sunday morning television for some sort of unknown reason. But he'll turn up on British TV sounding off about Trump. And on British TV, they never quite explain that Bolton was the kind of the chief intellectual powerhouse of the neocon movement. Well, one of them anyway. But yeah, so there is that schism. But anyway, I'm rambling now, so I'll catch you on the next little thing that I do. And by the way, check out the podcast. You can access it if you have become a paid subscriber. You can access it advert-free on here. But if not, check it out on Spotify. I did a great episode yesterday all about orphans from Korea who were brought under very dubious circumstances to America after the Korean War. Take care now. Bye-bye.